Students, this is the Peer Teach problem number 4. Keep in mind as you're doing this, as you're presenting this problem, as a good peer tutor, your job is to create dialogue, not simply dictate. You're supposed to ask more questions than simply give answers. You need to elect your quad mates to read the problem out loud by name. So your job is to pester, dialogue, ask questions, and elect. I am grading your peer tutoring. I'm just going to read what 5 looks like, 5 out of 5. This is going to be an exit ticket score. Your job is to show given implied freebies on the diagram. Engage every member by name in the problem-solving process with questions. Uses precise math language from vocabulary from the unit and show all your work. I'm going to give you 10 seconds quietly. Read what a 4 and a 3 might look like. You can imply what a 2 or a 1 would be. All right, we're going to do this together so you can explain it to others. We have here a triangle with these coordinates: 0, 10, 0, 0, 10, 0. Always label each corner. That's all you're given. You're going to prove 3 things. 3 things. You're going to prove first that this is an isosceles triangle. Then you're going to prove that CB, this segment, is a median, which by definition means midpoint. And you're going to prove that the same segment is also an altitude, which by definition means a right angle. This is where dialogue comes in. You're asking the question, between midpoint, slope, and distance, what would show length? Length. That's a distance concept. So working with isosceles, you're going to be using the distance equation. What would show middle? For median, of course, that is the midpoint equation. What would show tilt? Perpendicular lines, tilt. It would get you that right angle, and of course that is slope. So you're using all 3 here, friends, all 3. Let's come down here, and we're going to do the math together to make sure you know how to do it accurately. Now, when it comes to the distance equation, yes, you could bunny hop. However, when you're doing computer programming, you can't physically move points around. You must use mathematical equations. So I'm going to require you to use the distance equation, either though you can physically bunny hop, because you can't physically bunny hop points in the digital world. You have to use mathematics. So we're going to find the distance of A to C. You're going to do the distance equation template. And of course, of C to B. Please require your classmates to do a template first. Now, physically connect your numbers. So X to X. Y to Y. Going this way, X to X. Notice I'm physically connecting numbers. Y to Y. You do your math. Of course, this is 0. This is 100. This is 100. 0. Square root. Square root. And you are getting AC is 10, of course. And CB is also 10 units. You just proved it's an isosceles triangle. Coming over here. Now we're going to prove that this is a median, that this segment is a median, and by definition, median connects a vertex to a midpoint. So we have to prove that that's a midpoint right there. So we're going to find the middle of AB. Add the x's, divide by 2, add the y's, divide by 2. There's your template. Physically connect x to x, y to y. Of course, this is 10 over 2, 10 over 2. Your midpoint is 5, 5. You're like, oh, Miss Way, I could have just bunny hopped it. I mean, it's like right there. No, you have to do this mathematically, trying to train you to understand that when you're doing digital world stuff, you have to use the mathematics. You cannot physically move stuff around. So we have now a midpoint. We're going to call that midpoint D. So, ta-da, you have proven that C to D is, ta-da, an actual midpoint because 5, 5 is the middle. Now in the same triangle, we're going to prove that CD is also an altitude, which means we're creating a right angle. So we're trying to prove perpendicular lines. Perpendicular is an issue of slope. So we're going to find the slope of AB and the slope of CD. Get your coordinates on there. 0, 10, 0, 0. 10, 0, of course. Okay, ready? Y minus, oh, and now we also have D, which is at 5, 5. All right, going this way, we're going to go Y minus Y, X minus X. Going this way, Y minus Y, X minus X. Watch very carefully. Of course, this is negative 5 over negative 5. Negative divided by a negative is a positive, so that is positive 1 slope, which we would expect because it's going upward from left to right. This is 10 over negative 10, which is negative 1, which we would expect because it's going down from left to right. So you have just proven that these are perpendicular, creating a right angle. Therefore, it's an altitude. The write-up is the most important, friends. Math, meaning punchline, every single time. So here we go. In triangle ACB, you have A is at 0, 10, C is at 0, 0, B is at 10, 0. Number 1, distance. AC was 10 units, CB equals 10 units. Therefore, triangle ACB has 2 congruent sides and is isosceles. So there we have proven it's isosceles. Now we're going to go for the midpoint. Midpoint of A to B is 5, 5. So segment C to D must be a median because medians connect vertex to a midpoint. Number 3, slope of A to C, A to C to D is 1, A to B is -1, making CD and AB perpendicular. Since there is a right angle, CD is also an altitude. Math, meaning, punchline.